Your cold email open rates have tanked, am I right? Well, here's the brutal truth. We've been lied to by email giants like Google and Microsoft, and it's cost my company millions of dollars. But we finally caught on, and now we are fighting back. In this video, I'm going to be sharing everything that I've learned over the past few months about these lies and how to get around the big email providers' new rules that are trying to stop cold email marketers like you and me. Months ago, everybody was getting 70% open rates without even trying. But then obviously something major happened and all of our open rates dropped off a cliff. But after dozens of conversations with the world's top cold email experts and nearly 100 cold email experiments, we finally cracked it. Google lied to us. Months ago, they released a new update and they told us that all cold emails needed to have a one-click unsubscribe link if you wanted your cold email to be delivered. In fact, I've even publicly recommended that people use this one-click unsubscribe link in their cold emails. The reason was that Google explicitly said that they would be requiring it for deliverability. Well, the first bombshell that I'm going to drop is that the one-click unsubscribe links are actually destroying your deliverability. So, should you stop using unsubscribe links in your cold emails? And if you remove the unsubscribe link, is that even legal? Well, to put it simply, yes, you should stop using the unsubscribe links in all of your cold email campaigns. We have. Any presence of that unsubscribe link is going to crush your cold email deliverability. Now, if you follow this channel, you already know that there are certain laws that you need to follow in order to make cold email legal. And we want to do this legally. We don't like fines. One of those rules, both in the US and overseas, is that your recipient needs a way to opt out. But that does not mean that they need a one-click unsubscribe link. Instead, you should end your email with a clever sentence that encourages them to respond using a certain word if they want to be removed from your campaign. Let me explain. So if you use a generic opt-out sentence, they will basically treat that like an unsubscribe link and it will kill your deliverability. So you need to be a little more creative. Here's an example. At the end of your email, do PS. Not feeling this chat? Just say beans and I'll disappear. But if that person says beans, you better make sure to opt them out. Now, if they lied to us about this, then what else could they be lying to us about? Well, the next findings that I'm going to share with you are even crazier. And all of you are currently doing these things in your cold email campaigns, I guarantee it, and it is destroying your deliverability. Now, before I continue, I just wanted to, one, thank you for your support on this channel. I thought about keeping this information private for my insiders community, but I know how many people out there are struggling financially and hurting because of these changes. And knowing that I had the power and knowledge to help, I just had to make this free. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do me a favor and subscribe right now, and show the like button a little bit of love if you find anything in this video helpful. The next finding, I'm actually a little nervous to tell you about because it's gonna be a lot harder for you to fix than the first thing. This deliverability killer is something that has been taught in every single cold email course that I've ever taken, and it's even something that I've taught myself. Well, obviously that all changes now. That thing that I'm talking about that you're doing that you've learned over and over again is domain forwarding. Domain forwarding is when you buy a secondary domain that you're going to use for cold email, because we don't use our primary domains, and then you point that secondary domain to your primary domain. This also prevents your secondary domain from pointing to an error page, which is also bad for deliverability. But what happens when you have 100 secondary domains all pointing to a single primary domain? You guessed it. It is a huge signal to ISPs like Google and Microsoft that all of those secondary domains that are pointing to this primary domain are likely being used for cold email. Sounds obvious, but what are you supposed to do about it? You can't just leave that domain empty because that's also going to kill your deliverability if it resolves to an empty page. And you can't point those domains to your primary domain because now this is affecting deliverability. The answer to this one is not so simple. You can build a website for each domain. That's insane. Well, the good news is it's never been easier. You can actually generate a website for your domain on GoDaddy with a single click. But then when somebody searches that domain, they're going to land on some BS template AI generated website that's not very professional. The solution that we're working on right now that seems to be promising is actually pretty simple, but does add some time and some steps. In Go High Level, you can clone your website and you can attach each website to a different domain, all basically for free and all relatively quickly. It only takes a couple of minutes per domain, And granted, we're still testing this, and it is an added step in the workflow, but I think it's going to be worth it in the long run. Now, each domain is actually going to point to its own website, and that own website is going to be a clone of your primary website, or the way we're doing it, just a single landing page. And honestly, the results of this test were mixed, but they were significant when they were present. Before you go changing all your domain forwarding right now, go ahead and check your primary domain and see if it's on any blacklists. If it is, make sure to change the domain forwarding as soon as possible. You can use a tool like MX Toolbox to check for domain blacklists for free. If it is on a blacklist, it will definitely cause you issues. And if it's not on a blacklist, it still might cause you issues. So I'll leave that with you and let you decide what to do with it. All right, now before I really piss you off with the third finding, let's just recap some of these changes that we're gonna make to our cold email setup going forward. We're gonna remove the one-click unsubscribe links and replace them with a clever opt-out sentence, and make damn sure that if someone opts out, you actually remove them from the campaign and add them to a block list, or else you're actually going to be in violation of the law. In America, it's the Can Spam Act, and you can get hit with massive fines. And number two, we're going to stop forwarding all of your secondary domains to your primary domain. Either do the one-click website in GoDaddy or another AI tool, or clone that website inside of GHL for each of your secondary domains. All right, this third one is the one that devastated my PR agency, and I've seen a lot of people going through this exact same thing. I'm on one-on-one consult about this all the time. Now, as many of you know, we were sending close to 1 million emails a month at our peak. That's a lot of dang cold emails. Then all at once, our open rates dropped off a cliff, and for several weeks, we had no idea why. Honestly, I thought it was a fluke and that it would fix itself after about a week, but it didn't. So after extensive testing, I found the answer. And the answer was the worst possible answer I could imagine finding. Now you're probably wondering, what was it that caused my cold emails to go to spam? Well, if you're subscribed to this channel, and of course you are because you're smart and you like money, then you already know that there are certain words that you need to avoid in your cold email copy. These are words like guarantee and money and invest and million. These are words that email providers have deemed to be spammy words. And we use a tool called MailMeteor Spam Checker to make sure that our cold email copy doesn't have any of these words. But what most people don't know is there's no official list of these words that's been publicly released. If there was, that would make our job a lot easier. All of the tools that we're using to check for these words are really just going based off of their best guess and words that they've learned end up being flagged. Well, in the past few months, I have learned that they are applying the same sort of spam filter to more words, likely with the help of new AI tools. Now, what I learned is that the word Otter PR was being flagged as spam. We had sent so many cold emails that they were able to associate our company name with a cold email. If we use that exact same phrasing in a cold email, Otter PR, it would automatically go to spam. But as soon as it was changed from Otter PR to Otter Public Relations or Otter Agency, it would land in the inbox. Now I want you to pause so you understand the gravity of what I just said. I'm going to say it again and explain what you're going to have to change going forward. They added our company name to a list of spam words, and we're not the only ones. I do one-on-ones every day with my insiders, and I have seen this issue over and over again. But not just with company names. Sometimes it's a person's name. Sometimes it's even an address. If you send enough cold emails with the same unique phrase over and over again, there's a good chance that the major email providers will start to associate that phrase with spam, and you're not going to be allowed to use it anymore in cold emails. So whether this has affected you yet or not, I want to urge you to follow this new cold email rule, and this one's going to be controversial. Never use your exact name, address, or company name in a cold email. There should always be variation, and you should use spin tags to rotate through those multiple variations. How do you make variations in an address and a name and a company name? I'll tell you, it's actually really easy. For example, my name's obviously Jay Feldman. I am no longer signing my emails with my full name. Instead, I'm going to create a few variations of my name, like JF, or just the letter J, Feldman, or just the initials, JF, and I might even spell my name wrong in some of these variations. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It serves the same purpose. And you can do the same thing for your address and your company name and any other unique phrases that you're using in your cold emails that other people probably aren't using. And with these new variations, you should think to yourself, is this a phrase that they can associate with me? For example, Otter PR is our company name. There's very small chance that anybody else out there in the ecosphere is using the word Otter PR. But what about the word otter? Is there a good chance that other people are using the word otter? Can they ban or flag the word otter? Of course not. The word otter has multiple meanings and it's widely used. Now, if you suspect that this could be impacting you, here's how you need to test it. Log into Instantly or whatever cold email sending tool that you're using and send a preview test email to a mailbox that you control. Did that email go to spam? Well, remove one of these phrases that you suspect is flagged and then try again. Once that email goes to the inbox, then you know which phrase is flagged and which one to remove. This is the only good, surefire way of figuring out that this is affecting you. Now I know you're probably ready to crack open your cold email campaigns and start implementing these changes the day before yesterday. But here's just a couple expert tips that's gonna make your cold emails bulletproof and get your open rates up way past 80%. And oh yeah, did I mention it would really help me if you hit that like button, show it some love, please? And I also happen to have a program like nothing you've ever seen before where I teach secrets that are way too delicate to give away on YouTube for free. So if you think the free content is good, just wait. And inside that program, I also build your entire cold email machine for you for free. If you're interested in joining, check it out by clicking the link down below. Okay, so here's a really easy change that you can make to boost your open rates by at least 5 to 10% with just the click of a button. So my good friend at QuickMail actually did this experiment with millions of cold emails, and they found a significant increase in reply rates when you send using the provider matching feature. Now they have this on Instantly, they have it on QuickMail. No matter what sending platform you're using, as long as it's a tier 1 platform, they probably have this. It's just a checkbox that you can select. And what it's going to do is it's going to use Google mailboxes to send to your Google leads and Microsoft mailboxes to send to your Microsoft leads. Now this will require you to have both types of mailboxes in your cold email pool. And honestly, you should anyway. These are the two major cold email providers that I recommend. You can set up Google mailboxes for $3 a month using my setup service, and you can set up your own Microsoft mailboxes for $2 per month by watching my step-by-step video linked somewhere in the description. This increase in reply rates was largely due to an increase in deliverability rates. Google delivers better to Google, Microsoft delivers better to Microsoft, and between those two providers, you're covering almost 100% of B2B leads. Now to activate this on Instantly, just go into your campaign settings, go into your advanced settings, and then click the checkbox for provider matching. And by the way, if you are looking for an Instantly alternative, if you're very advanced, that gives you a little bit more control over your campaigns and a little bit better visibility into your analytics, QuickMail is an awesome tool that I recommend only for advanced cold emailers, but it is a great tool. If you want to try it, it's linked down below, and I also have a discount to offer you. And for my last magic trick, it's an old trick, but still the most important one of all, and it goes a little like this. Do not let them know that it's a cold email until they open it. Stop saying, "Question, Tim," and other generic BS subject lines. This used to work years ago. It no longer works. So here's an exercise that I do every time that I write a cold email. Read the subject line and the first sentence as if you were the lead receiving that email. Does it sound like a cold email to you, or does it actually pique your curiosity? If your prospect can immediately tell that it's a cold email, that is going to get deleted faster than you can say spam. Now I'm going to show you a trick to stop getting your emails thrown in the trash. And remember, your preview text determines your open rates, and your preview text is made up of your subject line and the first sentence of your email. Now your goal here is to include a pattern interrupt and also to say something that triggers curiosity. And doing this is actually really simple. I'll give you an example. How does every cold email start? Hey, name, comma, every single one. So if you want to interrupt the pattern, just start the email with something different. What do you say? Anything else, anything other than that. And it is honestly that simple. If you want an example of what a good pattern interrupt is, no, you have to be creative. If everyone copies the same example, it becomes a pattern, and then you have to break that one. Trick number 2, include a question. People feel compelled to answer questions. We just can't help it. We're like leprechauns. And this is also the perfect place to utilize AI. My classic example is to use the Instantly AI prompt that I wrote to find the name of their main competitor. You can then plug that competitor in to your cold email subject line or first line to make that a lot more personalized and pique even more curiosity. Now that prompt is publicly available on Instantly AI just by clicking on the brain icon in the leads section. But if you want to really stand out, then don't just use the same prompts that tens of thousands of other cold emailers are using. That's why you need to join my Insiders program. This is where I give you the tools and prompts to write AI-generated cold emails that nobody else knows about and no one else is using. Because if only 500 to 1,000 of us that are inside of the Insiders are using it, it's safe. Once thousands of people start using it, it's gonna die. And oh yeah, did I mention that I set up the entire cold email machine for you and give you all of the leads? It's pretty cool, huh? There's actually a discount available for the next week, so head to the link down below and apply to join the Insiders program if you want. The discount code will probably be a pop-up if it's available by the time you get there. And that's all for today. You've got some work to do, so get in there and fix your cold email campaigns right now. And by the way, if you haven't already watched my 4-hour cold email masterclass, that's also free on YouTube, watch it right now. It's gonna be linked in the thumbnail somewhere in this video, and I'll see you soon.